This is Irontrader, and this is midday trading, sort of. So we're going to take a look here at Tesla, and then we're going to take a look at a couple of leverage ETFs, UXRP and XRPT. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Tesla. Now, this was a really, really good trade today. Now, I had some issues here this morning. They shut down the power on me, and they're doing underground fiber cable in my area here, so I didn't have no power, and it just came on here. But I have a battery backup situation, but a lot of my monitors are by power, so it's kind of a limited situation. But it was actually a pretty good trading today. I just had to trade off my laptop, and Tesla was one of those really, really good trades, okay? Now, you can see here, when the numbers came out, today on their deliveries, and they came out a really good number. I think it was like 397, and they're expecting 497, and they were expecting like 436. Very, very nice. But just remember on Tesla, same way with GM, Ford, Stellantis, any of these EVs, okay, Rivian, everybody was front loading going in because the subsidy is gone as of the 30th of September. Okay, so everybody's going to have a good quarter this quarter, but the fourth quarter, okay, what are you going to have, okay, when that $7,500 subsidy is off? So when you front load something, always look down the road what's going to happen down the road. And look what happened to Tesla. Today I was in long on Tesla. They got 470.75. Now, I didn't sell at that. I had a stop loss in there as it was running up at 468, and I dumped it out. Okay, now look at this big ass red candle. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're looking at downside here. We're watching this 440, 12, 13 level. Okay, now if we lose that, we're going to come to the bottom of this candle, 433.12. Then we'll come down to the bottom here at 421.02, and then we have 1490. What is that? 419.08 level, and then we can come to work yourself all the way down to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 409.67, and we have your 21 SMA at 407.20. Now, watch this gap. This is going to be very, very key. 402.43, and then the top of that candle at 396.69. You gap your fill. If we lose that 21 day, then you can just start right to the left of the chart. Okay, looking at that 367.71 level situation. Then we can come all the way down here to this 361.27 level. But again, we have to lose that 8 day. Now you can see here how this was a tell. This is what I was watching, is this negative divergence. So we have a high, we have a higher high, but we have a lower high, negative divergence. And then I looked at that situation. So as it was running up, I just clicked the stop loss in there, and boy, it was a really, really good trade kind of a situation. So I am all right now out of Tesla. I probably should have shorted it. If I had all my monitors, everything up and rolling, I probably would have done that. Now, say this reverses and that 8 day holds, then what we'll do is we're looking at the top of this candle again. You're looking at that 444.98. We'll look at the top of there at 450.98, and we'll come on top of there at 462.29, and then we'll look at today's high at that 40.70.75 level. Okay, so that was a really, really good trade up to that. Now, if we get above that, this is what we're looking at here. On top of that candle is that 465 level. But this is the next two levels. It's going to be 483 and that big retest of 488.54. Now, remember, you crack that, you're going to 500. But right now, just watch that negative divergence. And as this is, nosebleed up kind of a situation, just watch that 8 day on the downside, all right? So this would have actually been a really good short, and it's easy way to short this is TSLS. That would have been a really good way to short this here too. But again, I just traded it on the long side, and then I was just looking for the numbers there today, and then I just dumped it out. I said, again, didn't get the high, but I did get that on the Tesla here, that 468 level, and I'm more than satisfied with that. So again, what we want to do is just watch that 8 day. If not, your big target is your 21 day, your gap, your fill, and then we watch all the way down here, can come down to your 50 day. But again, upside, you have to get right back above today's high. Then we can take it up to 470.75 level. Then we can take a retest of that 488. But actually, just be very, very cautious with anything that's related to this EV, because this is all front loaded going into September 30th. And now with that 75 is off, in the fourth quarter, I don't think these stocks are going to pay off anywhere near is what people are anticipating. Now, a lot of people are fans of Tesla. For me, it's just a stock. It's a trading stock. I don't give a rat's ass if this stock goes right out of business. That means absolutely nothing to a guy like me. But again, so just pay attention that, always watch that news, watch the deliveries, watch the earnings, and see what the guidance is going forward kind of a situation. Okay, let's take a look here now at a couple ETFs. Okay, we had this posted in the chat here, so they want to take a look at it. I was just a little jammed up today because I didn't have no power. It was very limited. I could work off my laptop, my phone, my tablet, but that was pretty much it. But now here, we're just going to show it right here. So you got UX, RP, level right there, and XRPT. These are double leverage funds. Okay, you can see here how we had this 25.71 on the bottom, and then we went up to the 8-day, held it, and then we popped above it. And now we're above that 21-day. That's very good. So on the downside, you really want to watch that 31.33. That's going to be very, very key. And then we look to today's low at 30.31, and then we have that 29.46 level. Okay, now there is a gap. Okay, so you want to watch the bottom of that candle, 29.80, and then we want to watch the top of that candle, 28.78. Gap in the fill. Now we start losing all this. 27.75 level, and then we come down to the bottom of the candle at 26.30, and then we have that 25.71 retest. Now, on the upside here, you can bet some very, very choppy, but again, okay, we have that 32.50 level. Now, your next level obviously is going to be right here. Now, there's a gap here too, okay, so you're looking at 33.51, that's a gap, and then we can go to the bottom of that candle at 34.74 level. Okay, so we have a gap there, 33.51, and then look to the bottom of that candle at 34.74, and then we're going to be running right here at that 34.77, your 50-day, and then we have your retest there up at that 35.70 level. Okay, so you can see this is really, really new. This chart is just barely playing out kind of a situation, but the chart actually looks good. To go higher, at least tag that 50 SMA here. Now, you look at this on the 50, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red. So this is looking very, very good. And now, as long as we can hold that price above that 21-day and that 8-day, we got a good shot at that gap, that fill, and that 50 SMA. Now, we'll take a look here at XRPT level here. Okay, so it's pretty much a very, very similar situation. Okay, so we have that, we're not overbought, oversold. This one here is pretty much the same thing. So what we're really watching on the downside is watch that 21-day, 16.85, and then watch today's low, you're looking at that 16.29. Okay, but we also have that gap. Okay, right down this one, 16.03 is your gap. 15.53 is your fill. We have that 8-day right in the middle of there at 15.88. We lose that, we'll come to the bottom of that candle, 15.36. We come right there at 14.93 level. Then we come to the bottom of this candle at that 14.12, and then we have your big retest down there at 13.84. Okay. Now upside, we had the same situation. So we want to watch 17.54. That was today's high. Your next level of resistance is going to be right there at 18.02. There's your gap. Look right to the bottom of the candle at 18.68. Gap. Fill, but then we have that 50-day at 18.57, and then we have that retest at 19.19. So both of these charts look pretty much very, very similar. So if you're going to take a trade, either one I think would be very, very good. This here is not overbought or oversold. The green is about ready to cross your red here, and we have good positive divergence. So you have a low here, we have a higher low kind of a situation. So you have a low and we have a lower low. So you've got good positive divergence, okay, on both of these charts. Okay, so you look at the MACD, always look for any kind of edge that you have. So you have good positive divergence there, and we're above that 21-day and above that 8-day. So realistically, I think we're going to start going rallying up here, and I'll be watching that 50-day on this chart here, and I'll be watching that 50-day on that chart right down there. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here, right here after pit close here about 2:30, and we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look at the indexes, which are nice and green. Trades in front of you. Now what you want.